Now, when we're moving on, I think where you are already fluent, we don't really need to do much on that. So we're just gonna slide past this one, um, and go to numbers that are slightly above 10. So I just picked a few because I knew that if you are already familiar with these ones, then these ones shouldn't be very difficult. Okay, so Yuchi, coming back to you, can you take us to the first number?
So I just read 80.
Yes, very good, nice. So we're combining two numbers, 8 and 0. With the Chinese numbering system uses the tens, hundreds. If you remember, we were doing that in primary, where you would separate tens from units, hundreds from units, and so that's the same concept that we're having here. We're having 10 times 8, so 8 tens. Um, that's the way we're reading it. Instead of saying 80, we're saying 8 tens, right? So more, you want to go on the next one?
38.
Very good. Right. Back to you, Chi.
72.
Yes. Very good. And the last one?
100.
Yes. Very good. Your tones are very good, you guys. You've been speaking Chinese for a very long time.
Oh.
Yeah, your tones are really spot on. Okay, so um, this was just to get the numbers out of the way. Um, as we mentioned earlier, what you're already familiar with, we don't want to do much on. So those are the numbers. We will just continue adding on to these as we go further, right? Now let's look at the numbers that have zeros in between, right? Uh, in the past, we said this one we don't pronounce it, and we also said by, which means that we don't really need to mention it. But when we have zero in the middle of the number, then we read it. Okay, so Yuchi, want to try 502?
Wu by Ling R.
Yes, very good. More on this one, 704.
704.
Yes, very good. Okay, and back to Yuchi.
R by Ling R.
Yes, very good. That's nice. So we'll come back to this one very soon, because we understand that there are sometimes where you have to um, read two differently. So we will see how we can incorporate that with our class, right? Um, but that's basically all we do with numbers that have zero in the middle. We will pronounce that number. Okay, so let's look at R versus Liang. Okay, so there are instances where we use R for two. Okay, for example, when we're counting, like we were doing just now, we're saying R, all right, and the last one that you did, Yuchi, R by in R, because we are counting, right? And also when we're working out through mathematics, we will have the R, the number R being used, or count, say, mentioned like that. Or when we have two of something, we will also use R. And then on the other hand, we have seen yang being used as a measure word, or to express quantity, right? So, for example, here we have hours. When we have 2 hours, what do we say more?
2小 I don't know that last one.
Or for time?
是
Yes, very good.
小时
Yes. So that's 2 hours, right? So we no longer say 小时 we go with 两个 okay good 2 days YouTube
2天
yes very good and more or you want to try 2 months
2个月
yes very true nice good so you did this one before more do you want to give it a go 202
with Liang
no I just want you to read 202
just 202
mm-hmm.
R by Ling R
Yes, very good. Okay, so I was meant to trick you a little bit, but you saw through that. You were like, do you want me to use Liang? I know you don't use Liang. So that's good, all right? That's what we said we'll come back to that. Okay, so in multi-digit numbers, there are times when you use R and not Liang. So in multi-digit numbers, we use R. For and not Liang for 10th place, and the ones that we normally use with units, as we do with R, we will go with R. Okay. Before the hundreds, we could either go with Liang or R. Okay, so we could say R by for 200, or we could also go with Liang by for 200 as well. Okay, but on the units we will still continue working with R. All right, so like the last number that you just read, we could go with Liang by R or R by Ling R. Okay, so when it's when it's within the hundreds, either would do. Okay, that's either will be correct. But when we are after that, for example, here we have thousands or 10,000 or 100 million, Liang is much more frequently used. Okay, so in the first example that we have at the top, 2,000 will be Liang Qian. Okay, Liang Qian. So that will be the reading for that one. Okay, so let's work through this one together. 22,222. How would you read that, Yuchi?
Oh, I was getting confused on the big ones. Okay, 2,000. So I have to use one. Liang one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beginning. 2 10,000s, and then 2,000s. Liang one, Liang Qian,
Mm-hmm.
and then R by R sure R.
Yes, very good. Wonderful. All right. Very nice. Okay, Mo, do you want to give it a go? Same number.
Liang one, Liang Qian, R by R sure R.
Yes, very good. Nice work. You guys are really, really good. Way, way, way advanced. Okay, good. So here are a few extras on the twos, right? Lia has the same meaning as liang ge. Okay, Lia. Which is also very similar if you look at the character. We're simply adding the radical for the question on the left side. That means liang ge. All right. So if I want to say the two of us, what's one way to say it? Let's start with Mo. You want to give it a go? The two of us.
我们俩
Or
我们两个
yes, very good. Okay. Two apples. You too.
俩苹果 2个苹果.
Yes, very good. Nice. All right, so there's another character. Have you seen this one before?
I don't remember it.
Okay. Yeah, we don't see it that one often. They say it's also pronounced as R, but it's used to represent the number 2 on items like checks, to prevent forgery. So yeah, we won't see that often, but I just thought it would be good to share that there is another one that's also used to represent the number 2, and excuse me, and also has the same pronunciation as the usual number 2, right?
So, sorry, can I ask where would we see Lia? Or like who? Like, is there like a dialect that mostly
Yep,
uses
it's
Lia?
it's mainly on the northern side of China. They go with that one more than the Lianga. Yeah, northern side of China. So yeah, when you meet with somebody who goes with that one, then you remember, they're referring to the number 2, and they're from North China. Good. Um, do you have any other question?
Mm-mm.
Okay, good. Let's move on to date and time. Okay, so they follow the order: year, month, and day. Okay, like what we do here. X being the year, and then the character for year, nian, and then followed by the month and year, and then the day and ri. Okay, that's the same order. Sometimes you find ri, or you find how. Okay. How do you understand these two? What's the difference between them? Mo, do you want to give it a go?
The difference between
These two, this one and this one.
I don't know.
Okay. There's only one difference right at the end there. All right.
Right.
Yep. So what you looking at, Yuchi? Can you tell us?
One of them is Zhi, another one's how.
Yes, very good. And this one we use mainly to refer to a day, right?
Uh,
It's the same as tian, right?
uh-huh.
So on calendars, that's one you will see, and this one is simply a number. Like, you remember when you're asking for somebody for their phone number, we say the how ma. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that part, the how part, is also used on date. So you start with the year, the month, and then the day of the month. Okay, which could be day or the number, sort of. That's pretty much what's at the end here. So in spoken terms, I think "li" is used more often than how. Okay, all right. So let's work on this together. How would you say it be day, August 8th, 2022? What would you say? That's your tomorrow for you. That's your tomorrow for you. That's today for me. Would you say that that date, today's date or tomorrow's date for you?
Anyone? Or are you choosing who?
Oh, anyone. Anyone.
Okay, I'll go.
2022年8月8日.
Yes, very true. Nicely done. All right. So that's how we would say our dates. So there's something that you did there, which is also very impressive. Um, then the years, as you notice, that even though they are into thousands, they are read individually, unlike what we would do with the with other number phrases, right? So you did that very well. Nicely done. Good. So let's move on to, I think, that's the gist about dates in Chinese. Is there any question on before we move on to time?
I don't.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's move on to time. What would be the time over here where it says =1? How would we say that in Chinese? Mo, do you wanna do you wanna start?
The 1点15分.
Yes, very good. Nice. That's how we would say that. So ideally, what we're doing is we're taking the dian part, which stands for o'clock, right? So when it's 1 o'clock, what's the common way of saying 1 o'clock? YouTube?
1点 or 1点 is it 1点 or 1点钟?
Yes, very good. Nice. So zhong will be like on the spot, right? Dian will be on point, and zhong will also be used. Even when we're talking about minutes, we said fen, fen zhong, dian, dian zhong. So you could use zhong, or you could drop zhong, or you could add zhong. You want to change the meaning. Okay, so sometimes when you're saying time, you see that the minutes part, like you see, we put the on in parentheses because some people will just go with 1点15. So you know there's an o'clock, and what comes after the o'clock are the minutes. Okay. So that's about time. There's another way of saying this number. This time, who wants to say that one? The one just below here.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember that one.
All right. So this means a part, a little part, a fraction. Let's see. Where is my? I'm looking for a browser. Just a second. I just want to fire up the browser so we could see. Am I doing the right thing? Okay, I think I am. But it's covered. Sorry. Okay, there we go. New sharing. Google Translate. Okay, can you see my browser?
Yes.
Ah, good, thank you. Nice. So I'm gonna type in this character here, which is cut. The second one. Okay, it's coming from Chinese. I'm going to English. Okay, so it ideally refers to a piece, but when we're talking about time, we normally use it when we talk about something that's in 15 minutes zone. For example, we were given 1:15, so that will be a quarter. Past a quarter, we will go with ke. So just 15 minutes are 1 ke. Okay, so we would say 1点1刻. So that's 1 o'clock plus 1 quarter. 1点1刻. Okay, so that's ideally the number with 1点1刻. Okay, 1点1刻. All right. Google didn't do a good job with us for us here because that's where we want to go, where we're saying 1:45. All right, we're just about to touch on that. So we sometimes when we are 15 minutes to another clock, let's say we have 1:45. Okay, we would incorporate the word that shows that we are lacking something or the difference, which is cha. Okay, this one here. All right. So this one will now be, because the hour that we're headed towards is 2. Okay. So we'll go with Chinyang Dian. And then, yeah, you see now it's working perfectly. Now, if we leave it like this, it will be 2:15, even though it was saying 1:45 last time, but it should be past because we said we have 2 hours and 1/4. But then, when we are saying it's 1:45, then we would incorporate the difference, the word for difference, which is cha. So we would say 2 hours short of 1/4. Okay, you want to try how will that sound? Yeah, the final phrase for that one. 2 hours.
2点差1刻.
Yes, very good. All right, so that's pretty much what we would do with time. We could still go with 1:45. That would still work, right? If you want, or we could go with the one above, then less this much time. All right. So those are two ways of working with times when we have 15 minutes pieces. All right. Any questions on this one? Preguntas? Clear. Okay. If we're all good, then let's come back. Let's do a bit of an exercise together, right? Mo, do you want to start with this one here, 2:30?
Liang Dian San Fen. But is it more common to do the number by reading it as 30 or reading it as ban?
Actually, the shorter version is more more popular, from my experience. So you would go with whatever makes your life easier, right? Because people still get you, like you saying, oh, there's 30 minutes. In addition to that, whatever hour that would have preceded the 30 minutes. So people will still get you. People still get you. But yeah, you would go with the ban if you like, which would then just add the half, like we were doing here with ke. Instead of saying su, or we would go with ke. We could also do the same with half. Okay. Good. So which one would you want to use the most from, or which one have you frequently used?
Neither. I don't really use them, so I was just curious.
I see. All right, cool. Anyway, we would want to hear your final one. Which one are you landing on from now on onwards? Then let's say it's 2:30. Tell us the time.
I'll go with Liang Dian Ban.
Yeah, sounds legit, that one. I'll go with that flow as well. Okay, cool. YouTube, it's 10 minutes to 1.
So let's see. 1点差10分.
Oh yeah, that's nice. That's good. All right. That's spot on. And the longer one will be 12点50或10分钟. That will be the longer one. So I think Chao will help us whenever we have we're going towards a new hour. We'll just do the subtraction, and makes it easier for the one who's listening to also follow along. All right. So finally, back to you, Mo. 7.
Liu Dian 45分.
Yes, very good. Yep, that works perfectly. And your alternative to that one?
9点差1刻.
Yes, very good. Okay, so 7 o'clock, laking 1/4. So that really goes well as well. So that's pretty much time and date in Chinese, all right? Any questions on this one? No, good. I like it when we don't have questions, because I don't have to scratch my head. Nice. So, quiz review. I like that. I love quiz reviews. Let's look at them together. The first one. So, I have 2 friends. How do I say that? I have 2 friends. Whoever want to go, give it a go.
Mo, me. I'll go.
Okay.
我有2个朋友.
Yes, very good. Okay, nice. Who said that? Was that Yushi?
Yeah.
Good. So more. Let's assume you from North China. How would you say the same thing? I have 2 friends.
我有2朋友.
Very good, right? So that's nice. They decided to take away the suffix and the measure word ga. So they made it simpler for themselves. Okay, good. Let's move on to this is my second car. Everyone who wanna go? Anyone?
这是我的第二车.
Yes, very good. Alright, nice. Please say it again one more time.
这是我的第二车.
Yes, very good. May I ask why you are raising your last part to make it sound like a question?
Because I'm questioning if that's correct.
Oh, I see. I was thinking maybe you have more than 2 cars. You're like, is this really my second one, or it's my third one? I'm losing count now. Okay, yeah. So that works well, and you could also take off the possessive marker, in your phrase there, it will still sound correct, right? So you could say 这是我的 R, and then you could use 个 这是我的二个车, or you could get rid of the merge word as well. It should still sound okay, colloquially. 这是我的二车, like my second car. Okay, but the real thing we wanted to look at was the R. Now that phrase is used whenever you counting like first, second, third. We would have the prefix D, de, the R, the sun, and so on. So yeah, we didn't cover it up there, but I knew you guys were already advanced, so we just wanted to see if you could pick it up. So fortunately, you did pick it up. So that was where the much of the test was on changing from R and Liang to the R, which you did very well. Good. So my phone number is 011-572-9801. Okay. So you guys have to share between these two and the last one, right? So who wanna go with the phone number and who wanna go with the address? I leave it at
Phone number me.
You don't want to give people your phone number, so choose carefully, right? Either you give your phone number or your address. So, okay, let's hear the phone number first.
OK， 我的电话号码是011-572，喂，572，9801。
Very good, nice. That was very, very fluent. I thought you were gonna think of the number. What's the number again? But looks like you work with numbers very frequently. You flowed with that one. Good. So let's just adjust a little bit. Which numbers change here when we are saying when you use them as four numbers?
The zero.
The zero won't change.
Oh no.
Zero will stay the same. But there's one number that changes there.
The 2.
2 won't change on phone number.
Oh,
So we left with one number. And that's the number 1, right? 1. What does 1 change to when used as a phone number? Does anyone remember?
I've heard it before, but I don't remember.
Ah, I see. Okay. So it actually turns to yao.
Yes,
oh, that's right.
I've heard that.
You yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna share an article which explains that. I think, but anyway, I will see if it's really, if it really go into detail on that number. But if you have come across it before, then that's good. So, would you want to say that number again? Yeah,
Okay.
before.
So 011-572-9801。
Yes, very good. Nicely done. Good. Yes. So the number 1 is the only thing that changes there, right? So. Okay, good. I've copied it up and then I'm just posting it to the WhatsApp group so that when after class you can just look it up. It's not really. I think the first paragraph will just solve it out for us. The number that just changed. All right. So finally, we're home. Where do we leave at? We want to give that a go. Right. We're putting all together now. we have first street, we have second floor, we have room 125, and we also have the 205. Okay, I'll give you a clue. I live at 我住在. I'm done. Now your turn. I handled the difficult part. I came out with 住在. We didn't discuss that today. Now you guys are gonna do the numbers which we did today, so yours is the easier part. That's me hiding behind my finger.
我住在255 Street. 街?
Alright, remember we have...
Or would it be First Street? DE 街?
Yes, very good. You get in there. Okay, good. Let's start here. 205. 我住在 205. How do we go?
Would it R by Wu?
Remember the zero is in the middle.
Or you read every number. So R Ling Wu?
But now you skip the by.
No, I skipped the by. R by Ling Wu.
Yes, alright, so we have that number. And remember, because it's in the hundreds, we are also allowed to use liang by.
Liang.
Okay, liang by ling wu.
Liang by Ling Wu.
Yes. And then first street.
Jie.
Yes.
Would it be Jie as street? Or wait, is that the... Or would it be... What is Lu?
Yeah, let's go with Lu. Let's go with Lu.
Okay.
So that will be first. What's the... How do we say first? More you did second last time, so first shouldn't be difficult for you. How do we say first?
Di Ilu?
Yes, very good. So 我住在205第一路 and then second floor.
Arlo.
Yes, second. You remember second? There's that prefix that comes again.
Di Arlo.
Yes, very good. And room 125.
I don't know room.
Okay. You can just say the number. But room will be 房间, right?
125.
Yeah. But then again, the thing with room numbers, like phone numbers, room numbers are like phone numbers, right? So that I think that's just cause it changes. Okay, so let's go.
Erwu.
Yeah, but remember one when it comes to phone numbers.
Yao. Arwu.
Okay, nice. So that was a little tricky, but it was also worth it because it kind of combines everything that we're learning together into that one, right? So any questions on numbers? Because that was the last slide on numbers.
So phone numbers and room numbers, we say them, and kind of years, we say them one by one.
One by one, yes, true. But unlike years, one stays E in years, but changes to Yao in phone number and room numbers. Okay. So yeah, I think if you want to take note of that, then I think that will be the key takeaway from that one today. Okay. Cool. Any questions before we do a preview of what's coming up?
Mm-mm.
Oh, no questions. I like that. I like that. That means I have no need to scratch my head. Alright, I'm gonna stop sharing for now. I'm gonna try and pull up a different slide, which we call preguntas. Okay, so how many languages do you speak more?
I try at 3.
Oh, that's nice. Which three are these, if I may ask?
English, Spanish, and Chinese.
Ah, nice. Oh, nice. I'm in a Spanish class myself. Mm. You don't wanna hear my Spanish. Trust me. But I don't know. Maybe one day I will wake up speaking some. Maybe one day I will wake up speaking some. I like how they sound in the conversations, like when you have a multicultural Zoom gathering with the friends, and then they come up. Have you guys ever played Kahoots before? So there are times when you're playing Kahoots and people are a little tense that considering on getting on the answers, and then when you're hosting them with the Spanish friends around, it's all fun. Like you'll be laughing all the game through, but you won't understand the thing. You just know they're having fun. Yeah. So I wish I could speak some Spanish. It would really be
So you
cool.
already speak like 4 or 5 languages?
Uh, no. I actually speak um, English and then Shona, which is my mother tongue, and
Mm-hmm.
um, just like you, some Chinese. So that's two and a half. Yeah, my Spanish I wouldn't even count it because it's more on. Just it was just last week when we were learning the other ways of saying hi, like ¿cómo te va? ¿Qué tal todos? Um, and then the responses like regular, muy bien, those kind of things. So yeah, I'm still way. Um, I know the word, but I can't really count Spanish as one of the languages I speak. All right, cool. So this part we will look at the questions, asking questions, right? So I think it's going to be fast paced as well. Let's see how far we could go, right, with the time that we have. Um, but asking questions is a very good thing. I like learning to ask questions, especially when you're learning a new language, um, because you control the dialogue, right? You drive the dialogue where you want. It's 6 hours. Or where you want to lead the conversation to. Even if you don't understand their response, you could still um, drive the conversation by asking another question to give them the flow to talk. And it's a trick I use with the Chinese. Sometimes they have this accent that I don't really understand. Excuse me. So I just know a set of questions, and I ask a question, and they start talking, and then they respond, and I ask another question. To the onlookers, you'll be like, "Oh, this guy is so good," but just asking questions. It's a good trick that I use. So in English, we use questions which are commonly referred to as 5Ws and 1H, and we're familiar with these ones. And also, we have to place the question part. What is your name? Where do you live? At the front, right? At the beginning, you already know, okay, this is a question because that's how the sentence starts. In Chinese, it's different. It's a little simpler. You place the question word in the place of the thing you want to ask about. So you don't need to rearrange anything. My name is, and in Chinese you would ask the what, where you place the name. Your name is what? That's the structure that we normally see. And then they also have other question particles like ma and na, and we'll touch on those ones. I think these ones are what you're already familiar with. Ma changes the question into a yes or no part. Okay, and I've just included some examples because I didn't know you guys are way advanced, so I have included them. But see, here we have. Okay, let's read them together so that it doesn't get to be one man band, even though you're familiar with them. Mo, do you want to start with the first one? And yeah, let's start with you, Mo.
你好吗?
Ni hao ma. Very good. Yuchi.
你是老师吗？
Very good. Back to you, Mo.
你喜欢咖啡吗?
Very good. Nice. So nicely done. So you could answer any of these questions with one word, yes or no. All right. 好，不好，很好。是喜欢，不喜欢。Like that. Okay, good. And then we have other part which is na, and na turns the topic into what about, or what about you, or how about. Right. I think we could also include how about. Good. Let's see. The popular one. I'm gonna go for this one. Ni na ni na. I'll use that a lot, which then goes with and you, right? And when you after getting, you go and you, and then you give the floor back to the person who's asking. All right. Who wanna try the other one just below that one? Hmm.
那钱呢？
Yes, very good. Ah, nice. You guys are taking everything I'm throwing at you. Very impressive. Okay, so what does that mean?
Money?
Yes, chen means money. And then when you put na,
It's like, do you have money?
yes, very good. All right. Remember we said it could be what about, all right, or how about. Okay, so for example, I say I'm gonna buy a Lambo, and then you ask me, Chena, like, what about the money? Do you have the money? Okay, okay. So, what about how about? All right. Um, good. And let's say you couldn't read this one, and then we could go more Mona or Yichuna. How about more? How about Yichi? Okay, we could also use that for what about or how about. All right. So those are some of the uses of na. Okay. Any questions on that one? Okay. That's good. Anyway, so let's look at emphasis, all right? So you will see not sometimes being used for emphasis, all right? Who want to read the first phrase here?
Like, I can.
Sure, please read it for us.
他在哪儿呢？
Yes, very good. What is not doing there? What is not doing there? Because we can tell they're asking about him at where. So where is he? Right? And then there's a na in the end. Alright? What's that for more? More, do you want to teach us on that one?
No.
Okay, it's okay, we're gonna throw it to Yuchi then. Yuchina?
I thought sometimes it makes it polite.
Okay, good. Yeah. There's some prefixes and some suffixes that they use that politely understand it a little bit, like yisha or ba, right? We come across that. But na is for emphasis, right? They use that for emphasis. So that's how na. They're just simply emphasizing the. It could be different, like in this instance, the question is where. So that's where the emphasis is. Okay. In this instance, we have used it as a question, but it can also be used just as a phrase. Like for example, the last one. Do you want to read that one more?
我在想 I don't know that next character.
All right. For class.
课
Very good.
我在上课呢
Yes. Again, what's na doing there?
emphasis.
Yes. Very good. So you're like, what are you asking me? You say you're in class. No, it's not a question. They are just emphasizing in class right now. So you could use that every time you are doing something or somebody is doing something, just for emphasis. You are at work now. That's just for emphasizing the sentence, right? So that's another use of now we might come across or we might hear the Chinese use at some point, right? Okay. Any questions on this one? Good.
Yeah.
Let's look at look at that. I was just gonna say numbers, but anyway, it has to do with numbers a little bit. 几 versus 多少. So how many or how much? Could use 几 and 多少, or sometimes just 多. All right, let's look at some example sentences. 这件衣服多少钱? 这件衣服多少钱? Okay. Who wanna translate that for us?
Me, Yuchi.
Mm-hmm.
How much did this piece of clothing cost?
Yes, very true. So the use of 多少 in okay, I think what will make sense is let's go through them all, and then we'll come back and do a quick review on the usage, right? The next one, Mo, do you want to read that one? Mm-hmm.
I don't know the next one.
Children or child?
That's right. We had it in this study.
Yeah.
I should remember these. 这孩子
Yes.
都太了
Okay. Come back again on this one.
这孩子都大了
Yes, very good. Very good. Okay, so can you would you like to translate for us as well?
Is it?
All right, start from the back. Yes.
How
Yes.
that is big.
Yes.
So So, how big is your kid, or are they trying to ask how old is?
Yes, that's true. How old they are. Okay, so you hear this one a lot as well. 多大? How old? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because in Chinese, 大 is not only limited to big, right? For example, if we say okay, you see, it's I like this one here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not coming out as big person, but it's coming out as an adult. So 多大, like how big or how old. So how old is the child? That one would do, right? And while we're still there, yeah, this is getting tricky for me because I wanted to touch on them after we do them, but I think at this point it'll actually make much sense to touch on them as we go, right? So let's come back to the first one, right? 多少钱? So from what I have noticed from usage, 多少 in this order, right? You remember we saying 多, what does 多 mean, Yichu?
Many.
And what does 少 mean, more?
Little or few?
Few, yes, alright. Yeah, there's 小 and there's 少, alright. So 少 is few, right? So many and few. This one in that order is mainly used for is not, it can be used for little numbers, very like small numbers, but it can also be used for any number as exponential as it can be. We could go with 多少. So when you're asking things related to money, things that we're not really sure about the range they could be, you will notice 多少 being used more often. But then when it comes to numbers that are within our range, for example, what time is it? All right, let's go for that one, the third one. Yuji, you want to read that one?
现在几点了?
Yes, because we know there are 12 hours. So we can go with 几点了. And you also see the same happening when you're asking about how many people are in your family. G will be used, right? So when the numbers are relatively small, you will notice G being used, and that's what I've noticed. And then when you're working with any other number that could be very huge, those is what will be used mostly. So things that we can easily count, I think that will be the key takeaway: months, time, people in your family, a few things that you want to buy. For example, this last one here. More, do you want to try that on?
你要几个苹果?
Yes. So in that case, we could go with 你要多少苹果, right? That will still go. That will still work. But we know that the person is not gonna buy a carton full of them, so we could go with 几, all right? And so that's separates these two ways of asking questions, right? 多少 G, and then 多大. This one is the part that I was gonna touch on a little bit. Well, actually, we did touch on that a little bit, but we just want to put up another way of asking. How do you normally ask? Which is different from this one, because I noticed you probably use a different way of asking how old they are.
几岁?
Yes, nice. I like that. Okay, so that's the other way of asking that one. G, so it's not typing. Okay. It was typing behind the scenes and then it's ignored the characters. Alright, let's type it up again. This way. Oh, okay. How big? Okay, so in literal sense, how big? Alright. Okay, nice. So this way or do that, we will find that being used more often. Okay, good. So, um, let's see. I think we can call it a day. I'm seeing here assignment is what's coming next, but I was thinking we could do the assignment. Let's see, because it's not showing me much. Yeah. Yeah, where we are right now, I think we're moving well. What we want to do is, you know what? Okay, how tired is your brain right now? Okay. So basically, what we will do is we will look at sentence structures, right? Where we would pick on questions like shema, say, nah. I don't know why the computer is, freezing up, but shouldn't be. And then just look at the sentence structures, like how if you want to use this question in a sentence, where would you place it, that sort of thing, and then just walk through some examples like we're doing here. But I'm thinking that would I'm thinking it will be best for us to start from there. We'll pick it up from there next time, alright? And then we will then do the assignment, because the assignment was really a bunch of questions like how do you say this, translating it to Chinese. Basic questions. So we won't take long on these questions. Then we'll move on to sentence structures and other grammar stuff afterwards, alright? So, yep. I'm gonna suggest that we end here, and then we'll come back and browse through this when we meet next time, and then we add something on top, because we understand that our pace is really high. So there's no need to try and squeeze this in, because it's not really complicated stuff for us. All right. Good.
Thank you, Vanda.
Buyong, buyong, buyong. All right. Thank you very much to you. I think we're gonna continue to talk up in the group, and so that you can give me feedback, and then we adjust to what works for you, because I see you are already qualified teachers and students among you, so let's see what you want to learn and how we can adjust and improve, right?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
We'll communicate in the chat.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, bye. I'm gonna leave now.
Okay, bye. Have a
Okay.
good day.
All right, bye.